Welcome, guys. It's Kim. Our movement practice today will get a little bit into the hips and go over some basics of the core and pelvic placement, a little bit of shoulder mobility, but mostly just a short practice to get us into our bodies and break up some restrictions. So we'll start on our backs today. So go ahead and get yourself all situated on your back body. So when you've got to your back, go ahead and lengthen the tailbone down. So if you put the soles of the feet on the earth, you can lift up the pelvis, lift up the low back, and then scoop the pelvis forward or under so that the tailbone gets a bit longer, and then drip the spine back down here. And we'll find the breath for a moment. Our breath is really so important. It's the basis of what we're moving from, and it's going to help us really get deeper into the body. So as you inhale, feel the back ribs expand down into the earth. And then as you exhale, just kind of sink down. Your legs can stay like they are. You can put them in any position. Same with the arms. They can go anywhere, but just focus on inhaling to expand the back body down into the ground and exhaling to release. Try to make the exhales as long as possible, maybe even slightly longer than the inhales. Now that you've been here a moment, reassess. Does the pelvis feel comfortable, the hips and the low back? Does the head and the shoulders feel comfortable? Do you need to adjust anything? If you felt tense anywhere, see if you can release that a little bit with the next exhale. From here, lift up the right leg, bend the right knee, and gather the right thigh in towards the right ribs. So they don't have to go on center. They can go a little bit to the side body. You can grab either behind the thigh or in front of the shin, whatever's comfortable. And the left leg can stay bent or it can extend long. That's really up to you here. Just give some gentle encouragement of the right leg into the body. See if you can actually get the thigh to touch the ribs. Now leave the left hand there, wherever it is on the shin or the thigh. Bring the right thumb either into the right hip crease, or if it doesn't quite squeeze in there, just kind of on the right hip, and encourage that down. And then use the left hand to encourage the knee in. You might have to use the hamstring a little bit more to keep this bend in the knee. We're just working on the subtleties of what's going on in the hip there, breathing into it. Good. And then kind of release that action. Lift the left leg, figure four. Right ankle on the left thigh, so we'll externally rotate the knee, stay active in the right foot, and the left knee can bend. Again, you can grab either behind the thigh or the shin. Now, some of our bodies won't feel good lifting the left foot on the earth. Then just leave the left foot on the ground. It really is that simple. You can then use the right hand to encourage any sort of movement in this right leg and hip. If the left foot is up, you can use the right elbow to encourage any sort of movement. And I'm going to ask you to explore here. So don't just go somewhere and stay. Don't get stuck. Move around a little bit. Rock on the sacrum. Use the elbow or the arm to change the positioning of the leg and the hip. Keep a little bit of a tuck in the chin here, just so we lengthen through the back of the neck. And then release the right ankle off of the thigh. This is going to be half happy baby. So gather the right knee in Sole of the left foot can go to the earth to start. And I'm going to grab the back of the thigh here, or the back of the knee pit, to again encourage the right thigh to the outside of the ribs. Same place we sort of started at the beginning, but now I'm lifting the right foot towards the sky, sole of the foot towards the sky. Guys, see if I can stack that foot on top of the knee. I'm going to use my left hand to encourage that positioning of the thigh. I'm going to take the right hand to the hip and get a little extra length. And then I'm going to take the right hand up to the foot. And it's like a little weight. We're just kind of weighing the foot down. And try to keep that knee in close to the body. So it's really easy to go wide here. That's not wrong. I'm just going to have us work on keeping that knee in close. You're welcome to leave the left leg like it is or extend it straight. Now from here, take subtle movements. So that may be sort of moving the foot forward and back or shifting the hips a little bit. And start to notice what the low belly is doing. So get a little bit of engagement there. Ease in the shoulders. It can be easy to tense up because we're kind of using our arms to hold us here. Now find some stillness from your subtle movements. Plug in, try to hold this position and release the arms out to the side. Holding for just a moment. And then release the right foot down to the earth. Bend the left knee, so the left foot on the earth, little windshield wiper of the knees side to side. Remember, we're still breathing really big. We've got that little tuck in the chin. Press into the feet, lift the tailbone all the way up. Let's re-lengthen down. So scoop the pelvis and then sprinkle the spine down, low belly down. Sole the right foot on the earth, pluck up the left knee, bend it in into the body, thigh into self. So you can either grab under the right thigh, sorry, this is the left, or on the left shin, but encourage that thigh to make connection with the left side of the ribs here. You can leave the right knee bent or extend it straight, up to you. Leave the right hand either on the shin or that inner thigh. Take the left hand to the left hip. Maybe that thumb sort of squeegees into the hip crease, but encourage that left hip down, away from the armpit. And you're gonna have to plug into the core slightly to hold that so the hand doesn't have to do all the work. Use the right knee to encourage the left knee back in so we get that lengthening there. And to keep this bend in the knee, you may have to fire through the hamstring and kind of that deep core. Release the leg, externally rotate, ankle on thigh, that knee wings out wide, and the foot stays active here in some manner. Again, right foot can stay on the earth, and you can use the left hand to encourage any sort of movement, or right foot can pluck up, the legs move together, and you either grab the shin or the back of the calf. That's not a calf, thigh. And move around. That sort of exploration. So use the left hand or left elbow. Maybe rock and roll slightly on the sacrum. Bring the awareness into that left hip. Pay attention to what's going on. Right sole of the foot to the earth if it's not already. And then gather this left knee in towards the armpit. Grab the back of the thigh. You can kind of hug it. And again, encourage this thigh to outer ribs connection. Encourage the left hip to lengthen away from the armpit. And then lift the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Half happy baby. As soon as you do that, you'll notice you have to plug into the deep core. And you can leave the right leg bent or extend it straight. And then we'll take the left hand to encourage the knee in. And then we'll grab hold of the foot, providing that little bit of weight, that little bit of anchoring. Again, we're encouraging the left knee in here, not that letting it wing wide is wrong. It's just a different action than what we're working on today. Maybe move a little bit around within this pose though. You can move the foot, shimmy the hip. If you're having a really hard time encouraging the left knee in, then exaggerate it. Take it really far away and then bring it in. Work on that motion. Plug in. So we'll have to plug into the leg and the core and kind of deep around these ribs and see if you can hold the leg exactly as it is as you release the arms out to the sides, maybe palms up. Try not to let the left knee run away to the side. And then release left sole of the foot to the earth. Windshield wiper the knees back and forth a little bit. Bring the knees up towards the sky, press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips, lengthen the tailbone down, get the low back in contact with the earth. Bring the hands to the hip points, and then, so those bones right there on the front of the hips, and slide the hands directly towards each other, towards the center of the body. You'll find the center of the body below the belly button and above the pubic bone. Engage there. So kind of sink that down and lift it up. Like you've got this little hollowing out here. Tuck through the chin some. Really find that deep core. Now, using that action here below the belly button, see if you can lift the feet up and stack the knees over the hips here. And then the knees can be bent 90 degrees also. So we've created this little shelf. Like you could stick your cat right there and she'd be happy and purring. Engage through that low belly there. Good. Keep this engagement. Bring the right leg as a whole unit with this 90-degree bend down. Let the toes tap the earth. Really keep that engagement. Lift up. Left toes come down and tap. Keep that low belly engagement. Lift up. Right toes tap. Left. Left tap. Left. Keep moving. Right taps. Left. Left tap. Lifts. I'm going to talk a little as you move. Keep the low back in contact with the earth. Really pin that down. Continue to breathe. You can take this as slow as possible, or as slow as you would like. We're working on the nuances here, on what muscles are we using to create this action. There should be a little engagement of the pelvic floor, especially as the foot gets pretty close to the earth. You will feel that really low belly having to turn on as the foot gets closer to the earth. So as this is less about those surface muscles, those rectus abdominis, and more about those really deep muscles that sort of create this corset down around our waist. Couple more here. If you want to do 2 feet together, that's fine. If you start to lose it, if the low back lifts or you start to pop, 1 leg at a time is fine too. Next time you come back to center and you're even, just bend the knees, gather the thighs into the chest, give yourself a little bit of a squeeze here. It's okay if the low back lifts. Oh, everything's popping back into place. Let's rock and roll our way all the way up. We'll eventually go to tabletop, but first some rocks and rolls. So you'll find the more you curve the spine for this, the more comfortable it will be. So we'll rock up and we'll pause to hover up here, and then you'll curve and rock back. Try to get the whole spine involved. So feel each vertebrae touch the earth. Next time you rock back up, come around into tabletop. So set your way back. Wrists under shoulders here. Strong fingers, grab the earth like you're trying to claw through it. Knees under hips. Now we were just in this position on our back. Our arms were a bit different, but we were here. So find that action of the core here. Don't lose it. Low belly sort of sinks towards the spine and then it lifts up or lifts towards the crown of the head. And as you do that, you may find yourself lengthen. Lift up out of the shoulders and wrap the eyes of the elbows forward. If the arms and shoulders struggle with that, simply angle the fingers off to the sides, and then rock side to side, just warming up the wrists a little bit. Good. Let's take the left knee, pluck it up, externally rotate, and take left ankle on thigh. Tuck the toes on the earth and bring the left knee to the earth. So I've got a little figure 4 leg shape here in my tabletop. And then find some cat-cow action. So pull the heart through, send the tailbone up and back, and then scoop the pelvis. Really push the earth away, open back of heart. Inhale, pull the heart through. Exhale, scoop and open. Inhale, pull through. Exhale, scoop. Last one. Inhale, pull through. Exhale, scoop. Tent the fingers. Start to walk the fingers back. Really go ahead and round through the upper back and tuck the chin. Plug into that core. Sink it back, lift it up. Engage the glutes so they press forward, and see if you can pluck the fingers up off of the earth. So we're standing up on our knees in this figure 4 shape. Fire through the glutes to press forward, lengthen the tailbone down, and now that low belly lifts up. That's going to get you more of that scoop. Release. Let's do it twice more. Press the hips forward, engage low belly, lift up. Release. Press hips forward, engage the low belly, lift up. Good. Coming back down, hands back down. Let's step the foot between the hands. If you don't have this space underneath of you, you can round the spine, but you can also tent the fingers, plug up, step the left foot through. Move forward and back just a little bit, warming up through that left leg some. Good. Next time we come forward, fingers on earth, really sink into that left knee. So I'm actually going to have my left knee go beyond my ankle here. If that's comfortable, you're welcome to that as well. Top of the right foot, or tuck the right toes, but I'll take the top of the right foot down and press the hip points forward. So lengthen tailbone, engage that deep low belly, scoop the hip points forward, lengthen through the crown of the head. Pull that left knee in so that it stays in line with the hip. Now press into the right foot. I've got top of right foot down. Lift the back knee. Pause here. Really work on that action. This is a pretty deep engagement internally. It doesn't look like much, but you can make it work. And then lower the right knee back down. Lift the torso up. Go ahead and extend the left leg for a moment. Rebend, slide the left foot underneath of the knee. Same action here. Lift up through the low belly and scoop the tailbone long. Lift the right arm up, palm faces towards the center line. Lateral bend up and over to the left. Now, like you're extending out through the right fingertips, go ahead and knit the right ribs in some, extend through the right fingertips, and reach long so we bend deeper and then kind of spring back a little bit. Reach long, spring back, reach long, spring back, reach long, spring back, reach long, spring back. Take a little twist. Right elbow outside of the left thigh, hands at prayer. Now, before you go too much deeper, think about the hips. Level them out, left to right, forward to back. And then engage that low belly. Bring it in towards spine and lengthen it. And then ring out through that mid-torso, so the thoracic spine. That left shoulder blade slides towards center. Unfurl from here, sprinkle the fingers down, step the right foot up to meet the left, come up high on the toes here, still engaging through the low belly. That's our basics that we're really repeating. This is always important. You can reach the heart forward, swim the arms back, palms down, diver's pose, like you're about to face plant. Hopefully you do not. And then lower the heels down, sweep the arms up overhead, press the hips a little bit, and then bring the arms wide. So with the palms facing up, I'll turn so you can see me, but you don't have to move. So palms up here, engage low belly, knit the ribs, and then bring the arms forward, palms up, switch palms down, bring them wide, shoulder blades come together and drag down. And then bring the arms forward, switch palms, go wide, the shoulder blades together and down. Come forward, palms down, go wide, shoulder blades retract. Forward, palms up, go wide, shoulder blades retract. Forward, palms down, go wide, shoulder blades retract. Forward, palms up, go wide, shoulder blades retract. What's the core doing? Forward, switch the palms, go wide, retract. Release that here. We're at the top of the mat, shift the weight into the left foot, lift the right leg up. Level the hips here, just like we've been doing. Find the engagement, fire the hamstring to bring the foot closer to the butt. Hinge forward, and then slowly, slowly, slowly extend the right leg back. I've got a nice bend in my left knee. Warrior two, sprinkle the right toes down, spin the left heel down, and then open up the torso to the side of the mat. So let's start with the feet. Nice wide stance here. The left knee bends nice and deeply, and it doesn't collapse in. It reaches towards the pinky toe side, but the knee's not doing that. The hip is. So we've been paying attention to this hip. Let's think about externally rotating it. The left foot follows that left hip point. Remember that bone. So it usually angles slightly in. That's because we don't want this twist in the knee. So I did all of that, and you can't see my tush is like running off behind me. So I want to bring that action in of lengthening the tailbone. You'll feel both the strength and the openness. Strength in the core and glutes, openness in the hips. So low belly sinks in and lifts up as my glutes fire a little bit. Reach the arms forward and back. Turn the palms up. Keep all this engagement in the lower body. Turn the palms up. My head stacks right over the rest of my spine. And then keep this rotation open in the shoulders and just flip the palms down. Breathe here for another moment. Think for a second about pressing into the feet and then pushing them away from each other like we're trying to split the mat in two. And then think about pulling the feet towards each other like we're trying to put our mat back together. Just notice that different action. Extend the left leg, angle all those little toes towards the side of the mat, hinge forward, and let's just kind of release. Bend the knees, move the spine. We've been a little technical, so let it go. Good, spin around to the back of your mat. I'll be doing this so you can see both sides. If you want to just spin and switch sides, that's fine too. Left knee down. And then bring that right leg into that table, that figure four. So right ankle and thigh, right toes to the earth, right little knee to the earth. Plant the hands. Remember, this is a tabletop shape with a figure four leg base. Set yourself up, strong fingers like you're holding the earth. Now let's find that core. Lift it towards the spine. We may even start to lift up out of the shoulders as we do so, and then kind of lift it up towards the crown of the head. So we've found both engagement and length. We're pushing the earth away, and let's move the spine. Pull the heart through, tilt the tailbone up, but keep the deep core engagement. Scoot the tailbone under, open back of heart, push earth away, tuck the chin. Pull the heart through, tilt the tailbone up, scoop open back of heart, tilt open, scoop open back of heart. Last time. Pull the heart through, and then scoop, hold it. Tent the fingers, walk them in closer. Really plug into the core, lift it up. Press into the fingers to lift up higher. Fire the glutes, push them forward. See if you can pluck the fingers up and roll your way up. So we're standing on our knees in our figure four shape. Same thing, we're not letting our tush run away today. We're gonna, low belly comes in and up. you'll already feel yourself start to integrate. You'll feel a deeper opening in the left hip for most of us. And then fire the glutes to press even forward, even a little more, lengthen the tailbone down. Hold it here for a second. Keep the rims integrated. And then release that some. Twice more. Core engages, glute engages, press forward. Release. Core engages, glutes engage, press forward. Release. You may notice a difference in your hips there. Hands come back down. We'll step the right foot forward. So if you need to tent the fingertips to find that space, do so. Right foot between the hands. Take just a second, forward and back. Do what you need. Nice deep bend in the right knee. I'm going to have top of the left foot on the earth here. So I'm going to let my left knee go beyond my ankle. That's okay if it feels okay in the body. And then scoop the tailbone under. Fire the left glute, press the hips forward. Get that contact of the right leg to the right ribs a little bit outside of them. Pull the right hip back in space. We've done all of these actions. Find them again in your body. And then press into the left foot. Again, I have top of foot down to lift the left knee. This, in theory, gives you a little more space to scoop a little bit more. Keep some ease in the shoulders. Let the deep core do this work. And then lower the left knee down. Lift the torso up, extend that right leg for a second, rebend the knee, scooch, scooch, scooch. So this foot is underneath of the knee. We've got a little 90-90 lunge. Square forward, engage the core, lengthen the tailbone. You got it. Lift the left arm up, palm faces the center line, lateral bend, up and over to the right. So we lift and then we go over, reach out through those left fingertips. Still knit the left ribs in. We're not going for a big back bend today. Press the left hip point over, forward I mean. And then extend through the left finger so we actually fold deeper to the side and release. So we kind of spring back. Extend, spring back, extend, spring back. Reach, spring back, reach, spring back, reach, spring back. One more, reach, spring back. Twist to the left, elbow to the outside of the thigh. Left elbow outside of right thigh, hands at prayer. Think about the hips, reposition them. Low belly sinks towards the spine or lifts towards the spine and then lengthens. And then we twist from the thoracic spine. So right around where you imagine your heart to be. Retract the right shoulder. Unfurl from here. Sprinkle the fingertips down. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Come up high on the toes here. Engage the core. Think about the feet a little more. Try to weight evenly in the toes. Heart can reach forward. Sweep the arms back, palms down. Let the core do some work. Let the legs do some work. Lower the heels down. Lift the arms overhead. And then bring the arms out to the sides. Palms up. Again, I'm just moving so you can see me. You can stay at the top of your mat. Bend the elbows, tap the shoulders, bring the elbows towards each other, and then open, drag the shoulder blades together and drag them down. Elbows towards each other, so the shoulders really have to come forward to do that. And then retract shoulders together and down. Forward and back, core still engaged. Forward and back. Good. Now this time let's bring the arms forward. So from the elbows, sort of circle them forward. Backs of palms come towards each other as you reach forward. Still engage the core. And then keep the backs of the hands together. Spin around. So now I've got kind of the insides of my arms and palms reaching forward. Spin it back around. Backs of palms together, hands out. Keep the head loose, the neck loose. Spin around. Palms up. Spin around, palms out, spin around, palms up, spin around, palms out, spin around, palms up. One more, spin around, palms out, spin around, palms up. Release that. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Nope. Exhale, hands to the earth. Shift the weight into the right foot. Pluck up this left leg. Bend the knee. Level the hips. Engage the core. Fire the hamstring to bring the foot towards the butt. Soften the right knee. Look at one thing. Hinge forward. Now you can go as soft in the right knee as you want. Extend the left leg back. Sprinkle the little toes down and then spin the heel down. Warrior two. Open to the side of the mat. We're almost done, but let's really set up this warrior two. Right toes forward. Right knee bends nice and deep. Deeper is just more work, right? Encourage that knee towards the pinky, but know that that's coming from the hip. Now find that left hip bone. Let those left toes follow it. I often see toes to the side of the mat or even backwards. We're starting to twist the knee here, and it's going to get harder to integrate the core and lengthen the tailbone. So angle those toes to follow that hip bone, whatever that is in your body. Good. So we've got the legs. This really low belly sinks towards the spine, and it lifts up. Oh, that got a deeper hip rotation. And as we do that, that tailbone lengthens down, and we really integrate inward. Head stacking over everything. So it's not a lean forward, it's a stack. Reach the arms forward and back. Traditionally, gaze is forward. I don't really care where your gaze is, though. Turn the palms up so that we get that up rotation of the shoulders. Keep that. Think about the core, remember it. Keep that open rotation on the shoulders, and then just turn only the palms down if you can. If turning the palms down becomes too much, it can be really nice to just leave the palms facing up. We're just breathing here. Remember that the breath is the key. Each exhale, sink that core in and lift it up. Press into the feet. Imagine that you're pressing them away from each other, like you're going to tear your mat in half. And then press into the feet. And imagine that you're pulling them towards each other. Notice what changes in the body. And then straighten the right leg. Ooh, angle the toes in. So the toes are all the way facing the side of the mat, or if anything, slightly facing each other. This is a release. So we're gonna bow down. It doesn't have to look like anything too specific. You can sprinkle the hands to the earth. If the earth is far away, put them on the couch, put them on your dogs, your kids, whatever's nearby. Move the legs around, move the spine. Lift up halfway, heel toe the feet closer in. Last little actions of the day is a malasana. So kick the toes out roughly at a 45. Heels are gonna stay on the earth, and then we'll sink the butt down. Now if the heels lifted up, it's not necessarily bad. If you have knee issues, it could cause pain. And there is sort of a strength building version where we intentionally lift the heels. But I want you to encourage yourself to find a positioning that lets you drop the heels down. This is going to be a little more honest with the hips. Now some of this can be ankle mobility. So do you need to walk the feet wider? Do you need to lift the hips higher? Do you need to sit on something? Also a great thing to do. Or play with the angle of the feet. Now, if everything is still fighting you here, go ahead and roll up the back of your mat and put your heels on that, or you can use a blanket. Wherever you landed, think about grounding evenly through the feet. So look at your feet. A lot of times, everything collapses inward here. So the knees fall in and you kind of are like about to fall on your butt. So lift through the arches, lengthen up through the crown of the head. You're welcome to reach forward. If this is no problem, put the hands at prayer, put the fists together, encourage the knees wider. If this is no problem, start to angle the toes further forward. My hips aren't going to allow that, but yours might. Close the eyes. So we've got activeness in the feet. We've got some activeness in the core. We've got awareness in the spine. But we're going to try and be calm here. Make your breaths, your exhales really big. There's always something, isn't there? Today it's dogs in my house. When you're ready, sprinkle the fingertips behind you. If that works, lower the butt down. It may not be graceful. Use the hands to gather the feet and legs in. Bring everything to touch. Bring the feet in close. Give yourself a hug. Belly on thighs. Squeeze deeply. And you can tuck the chin. For some of you, the eyes will actually go on the knees. Some of you it won't. It's fine. Keep hugging the shins. And now arch the spine. Scoop. Pull the belly off the thighs. Release, walk the feet a little bit away. Let's just close out with a nice little twist. Sprinkle the left fingers behind you. You can keep this hug of the right arm. Twist over to the left. Drag the left shoulder towards the spine. You can look back if you want, but you can look to the side. You can look forward. Keep a little bit of integration in the deep core. It doesn't have to be extreme, but don't lose the actions we just did. Come around to center, hug the left arm around the shin, sprinkle the right fingers behind you, twist over to the right. Drag the shoulder blade towards the spine. Keep that little bit of core integration. Unfurl from here. Now to get onto our backs, I like to grab beneath the thighs. And you may, since we're facing the side of the mat, you're welcome to move around so that you get to lay down on your mat or your blanket. Grab the backs of the thighs and use that so that when you roll down, we drip every vertebrae down. Make it really intentional. Feel the low back vertebrae hit, and then kind of that part of the upper low back, lower mid back, the middle of the back, all the way up to the back of the head. Now, if that was a lot on your lower back today, walk the feet wide. Knees are bent. You can bend them as deeply as you want, and just let the knees fall in to touch. If the low back feels okay, extend the legs and let the toes just kind of drop off to the sides. Bring the arms a little away from the body, palms up. I want to encourage that little openness through the shoulders. And you may choose to scoop the shoulder blades underneath of you one at a time. And then retuck the chin. And then you may want to re-lengthen the tailbone and settle. Now it's going to be tempting for a lot of us to skip this last pose, or Shavasana. But it's really a pretty important pose. I'll encourage you to give it a go. There's a few things happening in this. Right, we could sort of say esoterically, we're letting our practice sink and settle in. We're being supported by the ground. We're preparing for stillness. But know that we're also allowing our nervous system to relax here, which becomes very important in our mental health and also in our physical well-being and our ability to heal. So let yourself surrender here. Holding this pose is just as important as all of the other actions we just took. Most likely the mind will wander. Don't be frustrated by it. Just gently come back to the sensation of the breath and of the body on the earth. I would encourage you to take another several minutes here if you have that in your day. When you're ready to come out slowly. Mindfully and intentionally. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. Peace for the body, peace for the mind, and peace for the spirit.